Hey guys, welcome back to SudokuManiacs. Now, if you remember a few days back, we had put out a video explaining the chains technique or the skyscraper technique, which is the other name for that. Now, we did receive a lot of feedback on that where people said they did understand what we were doing. However, they were at a loss to understand how do we locate the starting point of using this strategy. As in, when I had said that if this row 7 column 1 was a 5 and what would happen to explain that. So they wanted to know how did I know that this would be a starting point. And that's when I realized that I could have maybe been a bit more elaborate in that video explaining how to look. But since I did not do that, I thought let's have another video where I actually explain how do we locate the starting points. Alright. So let's have a look at this image, which is there only for demonstration purpose. This is not a valid Sudoku. Assume all the positions in column 4 and 6 are filled up with other digits, and the cells marked in gray are the only places where the digit 1 can occur. So basically, when you are looking for this chains or the skyscrapers, we need to find either two rows or column where any digit will occur only two times. Alright, so this is very similar to the X-wing, except that in X-wing the rows and columns would be the same, that is, it would form a rectangular shape, whereas in this technique it's not necessary that we require a rectangular shape, it can even be a trapezium. But one thing is that at least one end of this figure has to be in the same row or column. So like for example, when I look at the gray cells that are marked, for column 4 and 6, they share at least one common row, which is row 6. Alright. So what this means is 1 for column 4 can be in either row 1 or row 6. And for column 6, it can be in either row 3 or row 6. So what happens if row 6 column 4 was a 1? In the column 6, obviously 1 would not be here, and row 3 column 6 would become a 1, right? But if for row 6, if the column 6 contained a 1, then obviously for column 4 the 1 would be pushed to row 1 column 4, right? So what this means is, irrespective of where 1 comes in row 6, in the counterpart for the other end of this figure, 1 can be only in either row 1 column 4 or row 3 column 6, and hence we locate the buddy cells for these two cells which we have marked in yellow, and we can safely eliminate the digit 1 from here. Clear? Okay. This was just an example. Let's go back to the puzzle that we had in the previous video. Alright. Now I have filled in the pencil marks for this, so to save time for all of us, because I'll be looking at two different puzzles here. So I didn't want to waste too much time trying to solve two hard Sudokus, that would take up a lot of time. So I basically came to the point where we had reached in the earlier video and where we were looking for the chains. So now let's have a look at row 6 and 7. Now I'm marking them in gray. What this means is the digit 5 can only be in these two places in row 6, and when I look at row 7, it can only be in either column 1 or column 4. So again we have this trapezoid shape. So if row 6, now let's look at these two places. If 5 were in row 6 and column 1, it would be pushed to row 7 column 4, or if it was in row 7 column 1, for row 6 it would be pushed to column 5. So irrespective of where 5 comes in column 1, it can only be in row 6 column 5 or row 7 column 4. So let's try to find the buddy cells for these two cells, which I'm going to highlight in green. So row 5 column 4 would be one of the buddy cells, because irrespective of where 5 comes in these two, it cannot be here. And also row 8 column 5, because if 5 was in row 6 column 5, obviously it would be sharing the column, so 5 cannot be here. But if 5 was in row 7 column 4, it would be sharing the box, and once again the 5 cannot be in row 8 and column 5. Same goes for row 5 column 4. So we can safely eliminate the 5 from here. We get a 1, so this becomes a 2, this becomes 1, 2, and 5. So this is an 8, this becomes a 1, this is a 7, and this becomes a 5, and we can continue solving the Sudoku like we saw. Hope this was much more clear for you to understand how we animate. We'll have a look at one more example just to reiterate and reaffirm how the skyscraper can be identified. So let's have a look at this puzzle now. Again, we need to locate a digit which is occurring in two spots only in any row or column. So the first thing that I notice, once again I'm going to use the gray and green colors. When I look at row 1, the digit 2 can be in two places. So let me see if I can find another row where the digit 2 is in two places. Well, in row 9 also it's in two places, and the 2 shares the column 4. However, for the ends of this skyscraper, there are no buddy cells, so I cannot use these two. So, but I also see that row 4 has two places for 2, and the column 9 is the shared column, and there can be buddy cells identified. Alright, so let's highlight our trapezoid. Now we have this. So we refer to the row 1 column 9. If this was a 2, then for row 4 the 2 would be pushed to column 5, right? But if this was a 2, right, then 2 would not be here, and 2 would be pushed to row 1 column 4. So irrespective of what the positioning is, the 2 will either be in row 1 column 4 or row 4 column 5. So we look for highlight the common buddy cells which contain a 2. It would be again row 5 column 4 and row 2 column 5, and we can safely eliminate the digit 2 from this. And once we get a digit, obviously we can start the solve, and then I guess we can safely proceed from this. So 4, 9, and this becomes a 5 and a 2. 9 is out. This is a 9. 6 is here, so 6 and 9 goes. 9, 2, 7, 7. The 4 is out. This becomes a pair of 1, 2. So this becomes a 7. 2, 7, 2, 7. So this becomes a 4. Again we have a 6, 7, and then we proceed with the solve. Right? Now you don't have to, because of this 9 being locked here, this becomes a pair on 5, 6, so we eliminate the 5 from here. This becomes a 6, and then yes, you can just continue the solve. I don't want to waste too much of your time here, you know. I just wanted to use this as an example to show, a couple of examples rather, to show how to locate a skyscraper. Now the bonus for you is, in the description below, I have added links to both the first and the second puzzle, which you can go and try it out online. But that's not the bonus actually. The bonus is this puzzle. This is the third puzzle. Now this is a very difficult puzzle. The good thing is it will help you practice all the techniques that we have learned in our previous videos. You'll end up using the X-wing, the XY wing, and the chains of the skyscraper in order to get the solution for this puzzle. So the link for this puzzle also is there in the description. So in one video you're getting 3 puzzles to solve. Hone up your skills on the various techniques. Give it a go. And once you've solved all 3, do let us know in the comments whether this was helpful or there is something more that we need to do in order to explain this better. I look forward to seeing your comments. And do not get bogged down by the difficulty of this, trust me. You'll be spending a lot of time on this puzzle. So I hope you like this explanation. If you did, like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. And please let us know through the comments what you would like to see next. We are always looking forward to your feedbacks. So, till the next time, happy solving.